看这地下通道全水了，给地下通道灌满了。你说南站地方，这水还这么深，你看，得多大的水？
辽宁抚顺遭遇罕见特大暴雨，不知道的还以为是台风登陆了。不过这个雨量一点不比台风登陆的海南弱。7月4日凌晨1点开始，强对流。
In just a matter of hours, one city in northeastern China witnessed a rainfall event unlike anything in its recorded history. Roads disappeared beneath rushing water, neighborhoods were overwhelmed, and emergency crews raced against time as an entire urban landscape struggled to cope with nature's sudden fury. The city of Fushun, located in Liaoning Province, was struck by an extraordinary burst of heavy rain between the evening of July 3rd and the morning of July 4th, 2026. What began as a powerful summer storm quickly evolved into one of the most significant urban flooding emergencies the region has faced in recent years. According to official meteorological authorities, a weather station in Dongjiao district recorded an astonishing 329.2 millimeters of rainfall in less than 17 hours. That single measurement shattered local historical records for both short duration and daily rainfall, making it one of the most intense precipitation events ever documented in the city. As the rain intensified overnight, drainage systems across Fushun struggled to keep pace. Low-lying neighborhoods filled rapidly with water, while major roads, intersections, and underpasses disappeared beneath floodwaters.
看这地下通道全水了，给地下通道灌满了。你说南站地方，这水还这么深，你看，得多大的水给地下通道灌满？啊，这车的
异常缓慢，几乎滞留不动。北方今年首场特大暴雨就这样产生了，而抚顺全域处于暴雨核心区域，电闪雷鸣果。
Videos shared by residents on Chinese social media showed streets transformed into fast-moving rivers, with vehicles carefully pushing through deep water as pedestrians searched for safer routes. Many residents woke before dawn to scenes that seemed almost unimaginable. Streets that had been dry only hours earlier were now submerged, disrupting morning commutes and bringing normal city life to a standstill. While the flooding spread quickly, emergency authorities had already begun responding as conditions worsened. At 8:52 on the morning of July 4th, the Fushun Meteorological Station issued a red rainstorm warning, the highest level in China's weather alert system. Officials urged residents to avoid unnecessary outdoor activities and remain in safe locations as the dangerous weather continued. Earlier that same morning, Liaoning Province activated a Level 4 flood emergency response, marking the first major flood emergency activation of the province's 2026 flood season.
全市平均降水量87.4毫米，已经达到大暴雨标准。顺城区前店镇鲍家村出现最
已经没到了我的胸口的部位，能过去不，哥们儿？过来了，慢点啊！
等着啊，师傅，等着我。
你别过来了，姐姐，你个矮不行。
Multiple government agencies, including emergency management teams, firefighters, police, military personnel, and specialized drainage crews were rapidly deployed to assist affected communities. Rescue teams worked throughout the day to pump floodwater from submerged streets, reopen blocked roads, and monitor vulnerable areas where water levels remained dangerously high. Although dozens of locations continued to experience standing water well into the afternoon, the coordinated response helped stabilize conditions as rainfall gradually weakened. Fortunately, as of the evening of July 4, authorities had reported no confirmed deaths, injuries, or missing persons related to the flooding. While that remains encouraging news, officials cautioned that damage assessments were still underway and the full impact on homes, businesses, and infrastructure had yet to be determined.
那边那哥们儿，他车淹了，连盖儿都没有，找呢，找自己车呢，自己车的盖儿没有啊，淹透了。
Beyond the immediate flooding, meteorologists also warned of an increased risk of landslides and mud flows. Heavy rainfall had saturated hillsides surrounding Fushun, prompting geological disaster warnings for areas where unstable slopes could pose additional dangers even after the rain stopped. So what caused such an extreme event? Meteorologists say the flooding resulted from an exceptionally powerful convective weather system. Unlike prolonged days of steady rainfall, convective storms produce short but extremely intense bursts of precipitation. In nearby monitoring stations, hourly rainfall exceeded 100 millimeters, an amount capable of overwhelming urban drainage systems in an incredibly short period. Fushun's geography also contributed to the disaster. The city sits among hills and river valleys connected to the Han River basin. During intense storms, rainwater rapidly flows downhill into lower urban districts, concentrating enormous volumes of runoff in roads, underpasses, and densely populated neighborhoods. Combined with saturated ground from previous rainfall and aging drainage infrastructure in some areas, the city became increasingly vulnerable as rainfall intensified. Although northeastern China experiences seasonal summer storms every year, meteorologists note that short-duration extreme rainfall events have become more frequent across the region in recent years. While scientists cannot attribute this single event directly to climate change without dedicated research, it reflects a broader pattern of increasingly intense convective storms being observed during the East Asian summer flood season. By Saturday afternoon, rainfall had largely ended across Fushun's urban center. Water levels slowly began to recede. Traffic gradually resumed on several major roads, and recovery efforts shifted toward drainage, cleanup, and infrastructure inspections. Even so, emergency teams remained on standby as weather authorities continued monitoring forecasts for additional rainfall expected in parts of Liaoning Province over the following days. Several important questions still remain unanswered. Officials have not yet released comprehensive estimates of economic losses or infrastructure damage. The total number of flooded buildings and affected vehicles is also still being assessed. Engineers will likely spend the coming weeks evaluating how drainage systems performed under such extraordinary rainfall and identifying areas requiring future improvements. For many residents, however, the memory of waking to flooded streets and watching familiar roads transform into rivers will remain long after the water disappears. The disaster serves as another reminder of how quickly extreme weather can reshape daily life and how essential early warnings, emergency planning, and resilient infrastructure have become in an era of increasingly intense weather events. As recovery continues across Fushun, authorities remain focused on restoring normal life, supporting affected communities, and preparing for whatever challenges the remainder of this year's flood season may bring.
有1.6米吧，姐姐。慢点，慢点，慢点，一定安全啊！哎，往前走。
我操，这经理他妈不知死，非得让。
看对面上班的人呢，都